Whoa, nice.
Yeah, yeah,
It's growing slowly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is.
just,
Slowly.
just wait a little bit.
We're on. We're live. We're
Yeah,
live.
we are live. Just I
Okay.
haven't seen it from YouTube. Yeah, I think yes, we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Academy of Astrology UK. I'm Rod Chang, and today we have Marcus and Sue. I apologize for last week because I think we all a little bit running down, so we just decide have a break last week. But also today and then next week we will be on. But I think in 2 weeks' time that would be the Christmas Eve on Friday and the New Year's Eve from following Friday. You know what? We decide to have a 2 Friday off.
Yeah.
No.
So that's
Yeah.
that everyone knows about that. But
Yeah.
today we are kind of have a very packed schedule because we have lots to talk about it and a lot of interesting things going to happen from next week. Well, it's not a huge change from mundane astrology view, but the planetary configuration still moving, changing sign or changing the moving direction. That's still something we need to talk about it. So we decided first things we're going to talk about is from next Monday, Mars will move into Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a things change. It's very interesting. Well, for me, being an astrologer, we read the transit or we read the news, but usually we don't really. When things moving slowly, you just like. Could you really feel that? Like when the Mars changes sign, it moves very slow. It moves slightly slow, not very slow. But can we really feel that?
That's a very, very good point. This is true. But you will feel it if you're either Scorpio or Sagittarius. If you've got those planets in your chart, those things you will feel it.
Uh-huh.
So not absolutely everybody will necessarily feel it.
Uh-huh.
So there are some things that happen astrologically that we don't necessarily experience because it depends somewhat on our own charts and how much
Yeah,
it's going to be.
and I'd add to that, Sue, just on a mundane level, I think if you're paying attention, if you're looking for it, yeah, I think it will absolutely be reflected in the news and in the
Mm-hmm.
events in the world. But the
Mm.
thing about life is that it's always going on and it isn't neatly divided into separate, containers that are all labeled.
Mm-hmm.
Astrology is just a way of analyzing
Mm-hmm.
life as it's going on. So in a chart, a planet changing sign isn't going to be accompanied by events in the real world that are like it's not suddenly like like it's not like suddenly, for example, I'm going to give an absurd example. All the trees of the world don't suddenly change color when the moon changes sign. Do you know what I mean? It's not like these things are
Mm-hmm.
labeled with big flashing neon signs. But if you look for changes in the news,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
leaves tropical Scorpio and enters tropical Sagittarius,
Mm-hmm.
there will be some, and they'll be to do with martial things, such as
Mm-hmm.
on the worst sort of end of it, it'd be sort of like wars and disasters and things like that.
So Marcus,
Mm,
from your view, from the traditional view, I
mm.
think the traditional astrologer will first recognize is Mars move away from the sign it rules and
Yeah.
move into the Sag, which Mars didn't rule anything.
No, it doesn't rule anything. I mean, there is, I would say there's still an affinity in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that Mars is hot and dry
Mm-hmm.
and Sagittarius is hot and dry.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Mars doesn't have any dignity, any major dignity
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like Mars is very martial there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very extroverted, sort of like a little bit danger of testosterone poisoning kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
going on, but not much to regulate it. Like Mars in Scorpio is ultra Mars, like it's if we were to make a person out of it,
Mm-hmm.
Mars in Scorpio is like the highly disciplined assassin.
Oh
It's like
wow!
it's like
Hello.
it's like
Yeah.
it's super
Yeah.
martial, but
Uh-huh.
it's like all the feelings are under control and it's very focused and very disciplined. You give me
Mm-hmm.
this mission, I will go and kill this person and nobody will know about it, and then the job is done. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's like
Yes,
the
that's
I'm,
right.
I'm
It's
giving
sneaky.
I'm giving a purposefully dark scorpionic metaphor, but you get the idea. It's very efficient. and it's not, whereas Mars in Sagittarius can be a bit, too much. So Sagittarius is too much. I'd also point out
wide open,
yeah, and one small thing, and then I'll pass the talking stick on to someone else, is that when Mars changes sign, very interestingly, the south node is right at the start of Sagittarius.
Yes.
So the first thing Mars does is walks right into the south node. That's interesting. So
so what I think is I can start to sense this Mars south node things because it's already in the orb. And then for last couple of days, I wake up, it's like, I just noticed a lot of people just wake up in the wrong side of a bed. Just like, to be honest, it's my personal observation. So maybe it's my personal things because I have Mars in 0 degree Capricorn, so that I can notice when they go to 0, anything about 0 or 29, I will sense it. But it's kind of interesting, just like, oh, why are you being so rude? Or why are you being so mean? Or why are these people being these kind of a...
The only thing I would say to that, Rod, is that it's a bit of from a traditional point of view, it's a bit of a tricky one, that because the last few degrees of any sign in traditional astrology were always the terms of the malefics. So the last few degrees of Scorpio are ruled by Saturn. So Mars there is going to be grumpy. Terms of Saturn, do you know what I mean? It's like, so he's going to be Mars and Scorpio, but kind of like, he's just grumpy. It might also be the orb of the south node, but the south node seems to drain things. So
okay.
I was going to say, I really like your image of the silent assassin. It's such an amazing image. Of course, we don't really mean it. But
not literally. Well,
but it just gives a very clear image of what Mars and Scorpio coming to the end is about. It's it's very, very good. But Mars in Sagittarius is kind of wide open. It just relieves. It passes from water to fire. So it's like Sagittarius being fire and Scorpio being water. So it's like, somehow you must feel you can roam, you can kind of move around, you can play games with possibilities, Whereas Scorpio doesn't have that, not at the moment, not as it's coming towards the end. It's like it's as if you can explore things. It sort of feels like things are going to be explored, and some things may be invented. Some interesting things may be invented. I don't think necessarily that war is going to suddenly stop in all those countries where it's war torn.
No.
But nonetheless, it's like it just gives a sort of a lighter relief.
There are two things that I was trying to think of analogies for Mars and Sag in general, and on the one hand, the positive analogy could be, like in the Lord of the Rings films, when they're lighting the beacons on top of the hills to tell. It's kind of, that's a Mars in Sagittarius thing, where the signal fires go out and it propagates those. That's a really positive Mars in Sagittarius. The negative side is freaking napalm. It's just fire everywhere, and it's sticky fire, everywhere. It's messy. So so there's a really positive sort of like spreading fires of knowledge and sort of signaling over long distances and sort of like that kind of thing. And then anyway, so the other thing I wanted to say about the south node is that because it's a diminishing thing, there could be a positive thing here in that Mars is the traditional ruler of fevers and infections. So often when Mars goes to the south node, you could see a diminishing in number or intensity of some infections, which obviously at the moment
we really need that
would
now.
be great. That said, it's a bit ambivalent because the south node often rules difficult to treat infections.
Oh dear.
So it's kind of an odd one, because it's like, okay, there may be falling numbers or diminishing instances or a weakening of the disease at the same time as something like we don't know how the hell to deal with this is going on.
Yeah, I agree, because a combination, we put the other side is the Sun tight square Neptune. We were just we will talk about it. We're not going to talk about that. But when we put it all together, Mars conjunct South Node, as you say, then if we notice that Sun square Neptune, I think this would be, a little bit challenge, still a little bit challenging. Also, we all hope we can just have a party for Christmas, like what they do in the number 10.
Number 10 Downing Street does not.
Give me a high five. Now everybody talk about the Christmas party and couldn't avoid talk about number 10, I think. Anyway.
I know.
Okay.
Actually, no, I wanted to say one thing.
Yes.
Which is, it's actually, I find this very interesting, worrying, that it seems to coincide, Mars passing in Sagittarius in the node. It seems to be that the Omicron virus is somehow kind of expanding.
Well, I think
bigger.
It's an interesting one, Sue, because looking, as I say, South Node is the diminishing one of the nodes. It's the reducing one. So, but as I say, in medical astrology, it's often linked to hard to treat things. So the way I'd see this is that Mars, being the general ruler of inflammatory viruses and infections and stuff, it's kind of like some sort of reduction in either the potency or the number. And what we've heard about Omicron is it's much milder than other forms of COVID have been.
Yeah.
So it could be something to do with either the virus being recognized as being less virulent and that becoming more public consciousness. It could be the numbers of people infected are dropping, but it could also be something about, like I say, that the South Node makes things harder to spot. And so for example, the South Node in your 6th house of disease in a chart indicates diseases that are hard to diagnose and to treat. Because it's like, what is this?
Well, could be people just like really just see it as a very mild thing, so people don't really pay attention now.
It could, and that would very much fit with the Sun.
Yeah,
Neptune,
and yet, it is actually
the numbers are
expanding exponentially.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, it's not.
But it's the interesting thing, Sue, is it's replacing the Delta variant, and the Delta variant is much more severe. So if it pushes out Delta, kind of good, no, not good, COVID, but yes, good, because it's replacing a more dangerous virus with a less dangerous one. So that could be what we're looking at in terms of the astro.
See, this is the odd thing, in that it appears that it could expand quite rapidly, but it's actually not so serious.
Yes.
I just put everything you're talking about. I think I can get the image like Mars move into Sag. So it's like people just a little bit out of control. People are just a little bit jumpy and partying, because are you going to limit people because say it's Christmas time and you're not going to party? No, it's very difficult. So people start hanging out, party, Christmas do this and that. And then because the symptom is quite mild, then Mars conjunct South Node, so that make people, be very careful with it.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah. So should we move on to the next topic, because that is also quite complicated, like this one. Although in the beginning I was just thinking we just simply talk about Mars in Sag and Mars in Scorpio, but oh my God, it's quite complicated. The next one is even more, is Venus conjunct with Pluto, but Marcus just tell us that Venus is ready to retrograde, so we're stationary there. We're stationary there, so just make this situation more complicated. How about we start with Sue? How about you talk a little bit about Venus conjunct Pluto? It's quite tight at this moment.
It is, and that's actually very relevant. It's very important. It's like, Venus is is the lady of love. We know that it's the lady of love, but Pluto is very kind of what can I say? It's kind of
the underground. God is underground.
So Venus has to adjust a little bit to Pluto, I think, because it deepens Venus. So what that's going to say about relationships, because this is what's important and what might be relevant for mundane astrology. So it may be that some people experience quite intense periods in their relationships. Well, it will depend entirely. It will depend on your chart. If you've got a chart that has to do with it's Capricorn, so it has to do with Capricorn,
Late
or
Capricorn.
late Capricorn, or other earthy signs, then that might be something that you experience. Not necessarily. What I'm trying to say is, not everybody is going to experience this. But some people will, and that actually not just people, but some interesting figures in the limelight, I suspect, might actually be, featured as being particularly sort of prone, or some difficulty, or some jealousy, or some such thing, because Venus Pluto sometimes can describe some of the less palatable features of love, I suppose. So there may be sort of some incidentally, I don't think it's anything to do with it really, but that child of Boris Johnson's just got born.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Interesting.
No, it is.
Well, I think I don't know, Marcus, do you have anything you want to add it about with with Venus and the Pluto?
Not specifically. I mean, I guess as Sue was saying, any Venus Pluto connection will tend to. Pluto has a function of excavating the things you don't want to be seen. It digs up all of the things you'd rather not see, and once you've seen them, it's like cannot unsee. It's so that's what Pluto does. It's like, here's all the stuff you've been sweeping under the rug, or pretending you haven't. Oh, here it is. It just digs it all out and dumps it right on the table in front of you, and then you have to deal with it. So with Venus, it's just that, but in relation to relationships on a personal level, but then on a collective level, it might be, for example, prominent female figures, the fashion industry, anything Venusian, so even stuff to do with textiles or stuff like that. But in Capricorn, the other issue would be it's an earth sign, so it would tend to be stuff to do with the physical world anyway. So,
I don't know. Why are you thinking about that? I just because I think this is astrology. We all try to find the possibility are related to this symbol, or we say archetype, whatever you want to call it. Why are you two talking about it? I just suddenly get an image. It's like it's more like we try to recycling something beautiful.
Yes.
Or something recycling makes it more beautiful, because I think the Pluto is you dig something out again.
Well, the thing that when I'm trying to work with Saturn or Pluto, or even both of them at the same time, I sometimes think of composting or fermentation.
Yes.
And traditionally those are Saturn ruled things, but we know that some of the rulerships ascribed to traditional planets have sort of been nicked by modern planets. So we know that Pluto...
Just share.
Share, that's the word, isn't it? Sorry, I have an angular Saturn that doesn't agree with
That's all right, we enjoy the words.
Share, what is this? But yeah, the Venus, it could be a sort of process of, and that is what it is really, when it's a process of, well, this is, because normally, this is what we're getting onto, that normally the Venus Pluto conjunction would be a brief thing. It would be a couple of days.
Yes.
This is a whole freaking month and more. It's actually, because
more than 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, because it's actually hovering around Pluto for about that length of time.
Yeah.
And it kicks off its retrograde cycle while conjunct Pluto.
Yes.
So
this will be fun. So let's think about it, because it's conjunct. It's not only conjunct Pluto. is going to stationary together with Pluto. So think about that. You're going to stay there. You're going to stay there together with a Pluto. It's just like, I don't know, every time when we talk about these two planets or the things related to Pluto and the Venus, I always have the two images like in the mythology. One is like Persephone has been dragged to the underwater. And she has to cope there. She has to stay there, and she has to know her husband.
not eat any bloody pomegranates.
Oh well, she did eat. She ate it. Sorry, it's delicious. Yes. So I mean, in the I think super we know that in a modern view, in modern astrology view, the stationary is focus on something. We focus on something. We stare on something. So the Venus at this moment is invited us to examine. I think Pluto has the same meaning. Examine deeply about our value, about our relationship, about our love and social life. Every corner. I think great, it's Christmas time. Are you going to take anyone off from your Christmas card list or gift list? Do it now. Re-exam.
Yeah, it's very true. And I have to say one thing, because while you're talking, Rod, I was thinking, of course, Venus is not only the lady of love, it's also value. Is that what we value? So I wonder, with the stationary, I wonder whether there's going to be some kind of financial issue, because what we value in many people's cases is actually money.
Yeah.
Sometimes Venus is also about money because of that.
I agree. I know our talk is not just limited on the mundane level, but what happened there going to affect our everyday's life. The inflation is coming up, and then if you think about your Christmas do, you think about buying the Christmas gift. Altogether, that's a lot of money, and the Christmas dinner, all the things. So you will start to think about how much money I'm going to spend on a gift, and all these kind of things.
One thing I think I heard another astrologer say this, and it made me laugh, because I thought they said there's going to be a lot of people not liking their Christmas presents this year. I just thought that's hilarious, because it's like Venus is what we value, like yours do, and it's gifts and beautiful things. Venus going retrograde, conjunct Pluto. I didn't want this.
I like that idea. I think this is the art of buying Christmas gift, because some people would be more sensitive and always think about, what if my relative, what if someone who doesn't like this gift? And I think some big commercial sites like Amazon or like big retail, they all doing this now. You can return your gift.
That it would be
after Christmas.
Really interesting to see if they get a flood of returns this year.
I really want to know the figure of this year. How many people are going to return their gift to Amazon and like Argos or Comet Curry, whatever?
And that, just to tie that in with what you said, Sue, if that does happen, that may not be unrelated to the financial situation, because if people are like, actually, we need to just look after, and that's a very Capricorn thing, right?
Yeah.
Look after the bottom line. We can't afford this frivolity. That was lovely. We've had that fun time now, but actually we really need to be, and Pluto is pretty intense, and it's paranoid, and it's like, we've had the fun times, but actually kind of like, there might be a little bit of that going on, like where people are selling their gifts back because they're more worried about the bottom line. I mean, that's
that's also true, but it may not be just about gifts. That's actually very relevant, Rod.
Value.
But it may be that some people are in some kind of serious financial problems.
True. Yes.
Some people need to actually try and pull in, and not everybody can.
But that's I'm
overspend, and it's a bit worrying.
I'm making it sound trivial, but I think that's legitimate. I think that's exactly right, Sue. And I think that may be one of the superficial ways that will show up could be return of gifts, but that people might be doing that because they have to. in some cases.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
True. Okay. I think today, I mean, it's about time. I don't want to try to cut this show because I have something else to share. Quite interesting, not totally related, or maybe. I mean, most astrologers don't look at it. It's comets. We have comet coming up.
Yeah.
We have so let me share a little bit of information with you guys. Do you want it?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Here we are. So,
wow.
so we will see the comet. I don't have a photo yet. I wish me good luck tomorrow. So from today, I think for next couple day is the best chance to see it because it's getting brighter. Now it's going to the magnitude 4. So magnitude 6 is our naked eye visibility. So magnitude 4 is okay, we can see it. If you want to see the tail, my recommendation, use a pair of binoculars and look toward you first. Very easy. This is the Arcturus, fixed star. So it will be very bright. So 1 hour, my suggestion is 1 hour before sunrise. And as we are in the North Hemisphere, as in England, that means 6 o'clock or 5. That's still not extremely early. Just make a little bit effort, especially tomorrow weather will be good.
Doesn't really get light until 8.
Yeah. So something
Even
like
to
6.
solstice, we're nearly there.
Yeah, 6 o'clock will be okay. And you find the Arcturus, and then the comet is down there near the horizon. So around the 6 o'clock, around 5 o'clock, I think you can make it. Around 6 o'clock, it will be higher, but the star will get the sky will get brighter.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. So comet only couple days because it will move to South Hemisphere soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So just for next couple of days, if you have a chance to make it
what would you say is the meaning of this comet, Rod?
Well, I don't know yet because we depend on the part of sky it covers for astrologer, and also it has to be visible. So I think when I notice it's visible is from the boots, the area around Arcturus. So this is about a leader or a leader with the new skill, or which can train leading people toward to new area or new time. And then it moved to serpent. So doesn't sound nice. Sorry. To be honest, because the serpent is together with the Ophiuchus, the healer. So you get poison first, and then you get healing. Well, what I think is because visible comets usually give us indication. So this is my view at this moment, and we have to see which other constellation it go past by.
Passes through. Okay.
Yeah, it passes through. So with the boots, boots is a plow too. It's a plow, so it's a tool, invention. Like Sue just mentioned about Mars in Sagittarius, like invention things. Also, is a leader leading people to use a new tool. That's another thing. And then they come to the Ophiuchus, and then with the serpent. So with serpent, traditional view, I know the serpent one is not nice, about poison. It's about poison, about toxic.
Figures, yeah.
Yeah, but soon it will go to the Ophiuchus. This is the healer. Try to balance, I think. Try to balance. So we will have another tough year, maybe.
But does the comet relate to what's happening right now when the comet appears, or is it a herald of future events? How is it?
Okay, comet. We usually, I think, if I remember correctly, the ancient astrology usually say it's a indicator of the year.
Of the year ahead.
Of a year ahead.
I
so
see.
It's mean from now on to next year.
And at what point did this comet become visible? Did it become visible in boots on Arcturus? Is that when
I think from boots? Yes, from boots.
So it's really like the I'm just trying to boil it down for myself, but also for the listeners, sort of a cereal box version.
Yes.
So it's the point from which the comet becomes visible. You then see which constellations and stars it traverses in the sky until it disappears from view.
Yes.
Is that fair? And that tells a story.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. As I think most astrologers doing that way.
Okay.
But there is also the ancient technique, but that's you draw a chart when you see it. But that's totally another story.
I know Ptolemy goes into that, but I haven't read up much about it because I'm so not the astronomer like you are.
But I think most ancient astrologer, they really read it with constellation.
Yeah.
They really read it with constellation.
I think he brought in the color of the comet and
color,
the
then
its tail and all that.
We have to see it. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Okay.
Do you say it will pass into the southern hemisphere within a couple of days?
Yes, very soon. Very soon it will go to southern hemisphere.
So then we won't be able to see it.
Yeah, we won't be able to. So only very well.
But that's what I mean is like they won't see it against the same constellations, will they, in the southern hemisphere?
Sure, I think it will go through it. Yes.
So this story of Boots to Serpens to Ophiuchus, that is us in the northern hemisphere. So that's the story that we're getting from that comet. What the people in the southern hemisphere will get will be a different narrative.
Different things. Yeah, they will see differently. They will see different things. Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So if I have time, I will just post the target of the whole circle.
Amazing.
I think until we can see it. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that'd
really
be
nice
fun.
to be able to tell. I mean, it's not very nice because it's so flipping cold.
Yeah, I know, and I will try to do it tomorrow. Because we really have nice weather, and tomorrow there's only one day we have good weather, so I want to try.
Yeah, use it.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you, everyone, to share what you like, and also I get time to talk about comets. I'm quite happy with that.
That's great, Rod. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so next week we will coming back, but we won't be here for the 24th and 31st. So next week will be our last episode for this year. Okay, stay in tune. Bye.